good morning, good evening from wherever you're listening from. This is your host, Carla, with Conversations with Carla. I'm glad to have you in on this fabulous Sunday. I would like to welcome a special guest. She has been in the speaking industry for quite some time. She's a motivational speaker. She's a speaking coach, accountability coach. She is also the CEO of I Am Shelly Shelton. She helps females entrepreneurs manifest their personal and professional lives. I know personally, Shelly can teach you how to move a mountain when you really don't feel like you have the power to do so. She can definitely show you that you truly can. Shelly, I want to welcome you to the Conversations with Carla show.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. So you are, I like to call you like a triple threat. But I mean that meaning that people need to have a friend like you. Like, you definitely need to be somebody and someone's speed dial all the time, because the fire that you give and pour into people is actually amazing. And I can speak for myself as a testament to that, just by sharing a few things on projects and such that I was working on in the past. You had me thinking, wait a minute, all along I can change the world all by myself. You know, I'm sitting here waiting for somebody else to tell me, when to do this and when to do that. And you were like, you don't need to wait. You can do it now. So talk to us a little bit of how you got started. We have young people who are like petrified of just speaking in front of people. Where did you get the gift? Where did that come from?
Wow, that's an awesome question. My speaking ability was recognized by my third grade teacher, so I'm in awe that I get an opportunity to talk about this piece, because since my audience is normally women that want to change in their lives, it's a pleasure to be able to speak to how this all started. And it started when I was a kid. So my third grade teacher, Ms. Miller, was so impressed. She gave us this assignment, the Gettysburg Address. I don't know if those that are listening to your broadcast, if they had to memorize the Gettysburg Address. So back was 7 years ago. So it was through that speech that she recognized there was a gift. There was a gift in speaking. There was a gift in the delivery. There was a gift in how people received what I had to say. And she recognized it. And so I'm so thankful to her. I would not be where I am today if it had not been for my third grade teacher. And so I was 8 years old. But it all started with one day me making a mistake. I was an 8-year-old that took care of my household. I took care of my 3-year-old sister, and I took care of my parents. And I was cooking one day, and in the course of cooking, I almost burned down my house. But in the midst of that, I heard this voice say, you will be a motivational speaker, and this story will make a difference. I didn't know where all that was coming from, but I was obedient to that. And in essence, I had no idea what a motivational speaker was. I was 8 years old. I didn't even know what it was. I didn't know what the power of motivation would mean, nothing. But I remember at that time I was going through a lot in school, and I was being bullied at the time. So I don't know if this would be an opportunity to maybe talk about that piece, but my voice began to get a little stronger due to what I was going through, and I was being bullied when I was in school.
Wow. I'm glad you brought that up, because, there's so many facts out there and statistics on bullying and suicide, and it's alarming. Suicide is the third leading cause of death among young people, resulting in about 4,000 deaths per year, according to the CDC. We have bully victims that are between, I believe they are between 2 to 9 times more likely to consider suicide than non-victims. It has definitely turned like into this, and I don't like to use this term, but a cancer. It's just brewing, and now it's like all over the place where kids feel like this is their last resort. So I'm glad that you brought that up in your story. I had no no clue about that. How do you think we can keep our youth motivated in a world that is full of suicidal, full of bullying, in a society that's just, unfortunately, is just all over the media? How can you run away from it? How can you look past what you hear on the media, like the unfortunate, shootings in Florida, and I believe there's something else recently here in Texas. So what are your thoughts on that? Let's go ahead and just crack the core, because our kids need to know.
Yeah. You addressed the question about, how do you think past it, how you get past it. I don't think we can ever, get past it. I think, I look back to my story when I was being bullied. Mm-hmm. I was in middle school and being bullied by a young girl that was a couple years older than me. Mm-hmm. And I didn't understand why she was bullying me. But what I recognized was that my self-esteem was on E. Like, it was completely empty. Mm-hmm. And I didn't exactly know why it was empty, but now that I look back at it, I wasn't allowing positive thoughts to resonate through me and out of me, if that makes sense.
Right,
so,
right.
You'll hear people say, as a man thinketh, so is he. Mm-hmm. And I didn't comprehend that when I was a kid. It was as if, I look back at it now, and it's as if I wish I had someone to be able to talk to then, like an 800 number or some sort of witness protection program. Right. I needed to be able to go and talk freely to someone about what was happening. But years ago, we didn't have those types of programs.
Right.
But what I want to say today is I would love for there to be an opportunity where our kids can be able to understand that 2 words that they can say every single day can make a difference in their lives. And those 2 words are I am. And whatever powerful thing that comes behind that, you become that person. So regardless of if your bully tries to make you think that you are less than, make mm-hmm. you think that you are not someone that should be on this earth, because I contemplated suicide. I was that chick. I was that young girl that was being so bullied every single day. I can remember it like it was yesterday. I'm 43. I can remember when and she bullied me for 6 years. And I realized, I kept saying to myself, why am I allowing this to happen to me? Why am I not saying anything? And I didn't share it with anyone. I allowed the torture of the words that she said to make me believe that I was who she said I was. And so today, I would say to the old me that was enduring that, I need for you to say every day that I am not inferior to you. I am no longer inferior to you, girl. You do not create who I become. And if only I had put that in my mouth, in my spirit, and allow it to come out, I think that would have made a difference alone. And so I would love to be able to teach kids the power of those words, I am. Right. I am winning. I am not inferior to you. And just that alone, I think, would truly make a difference. I think it first of all needs to start from the parents as well, though. I think our parents need to have an opportunity to talk to their kids and say, look, I've been through the bullying thing. I've been there. I've done that. And I want to help you through the process. Right. And our teachers, I think teachers are some of the most phenomenal people in the world. I would not be where I am today if it had not been for my 3rd grade teacher. Right. Yeah. And so I think if we gave them an opportunity to continue to press upon them, that our kids are worth it, that every day they need to say, I am worthy of the best. No matter who tries to tear them down, I am worthy of the best. So just the power of I am alone, just those 2 words, I think, would have made a major difference to me alone as a kid going through that. Yeah,
that's why I love your company name. I am Shelly Shelton. It's like you're putting out there into the universe, to the world, to God, and even to that bully, back in the day, to let that person know, to let the world know, I am Shelly Shelton. And I like how you orchestrated that into your company name. Because not only you're reminded of it, but it also has me thinking, I am Carla Broadnax.
That's right.
No matter what people think or say about me, I am who I am, and be happy and unapologetic about it. So
absolutely,
that is the number one key. Wow, you surprised me. That was the information I didn't even know. So that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that with our listeners. Yeah, there's a song by Logic. It's called 1-800. I think it's 1-800-273-8255, which is like the phone number for suicide. And I was looking over his lyrics to that song last night, and everything had the word I. Like, I want you to be alive. I want you to be alive. Like, everything is orchestrated. I know that you think, I know that you'll thank God you did. Like, things of that nature in this song is so uplifting, and I think it's an awesome song. My kids are like, are you really listening to Logic? Yeah, I am. If it's a song with substance and it's good for young people to absorb in their mentee, I will support it big time. So I'm glad that you brought those things up, and I'm sure my listeners listen to Logic, but it's a phenomenal song.
Yes, I love that song.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. I also wanted to talk a little bit about, so we talked about, what's going on in our young people's world of suicide and bullying. You've been speaking for quite some time. Have you ever had a time in your speaking career where you would, give this phenomenal talk, this phenomenal lesson or curriculum, and then didn't really get a response out of it? How do you handle that? Because I have young people that like to orchestrate events and such at their school. I have a child that I know that wants to start a Black student union at the school, and they're like really afraid about doing it. And I'm just trying to push and, encourage and find literature for them to, for one, to have the resources, and, two, know what you're talking about and go in with confidence. But how do you handle rejection? How do you handle the word no? A lot of our young people have a hard time with handling, that word and rejection. Maybe it stems from issues, growing up. Maybe it's mom and dad at the home, or, there could be a separation, and, seeing that relationship didn't do well. Now the kid is, have a hard time speaking up or standing up for themselves. Would you have any insight or, and this is just a candid discussion, and we just talk about what opportunities a young person should take on handling a challenge like so.
Yeah, absolutely. So originally when I first started speaking, one of the things that one of my coaches wanted me to do was, try to do your own event. Well, I didn't know anything about starting an event, and I've recognized and have self-assessed enough over the years where I know where my strengths and weaknesses are, and planning is not one of my strong points.
Okay.
And so one of the things that occurred some years ago, probably about 6 or 7 years ago, was I started an event. And so I put the event on, and I didn't do a whole lot of what needed to occur. And so I didn't get the audience that I wanted to get.
Okay.
And as a result, I felt the rejection that you're talking about. But what I learned from that was not to stop, but to learn from it. One of the things that I want to impress upon young kids, sometimes we'll use words that mean something totally different. And I want them to look at the word no in that respect too. Like, say, for example, the word bad. The word bad should really mean bad. But you'll hear kids say, oh, that was bad. Girl, you're bad. like meaning something good.
Right.
So if we look at the word no and you hear no, or, you know, when someone says no to you, I want you to look at no from the standpoint of, okay, how can I learn differently? How can I learn and take this experience and do something different to make it so extremely positive next time I try it? So instead of me saying, you know what, Shelly, I'm never going to try this event thing again. I am never going to do this. This was an embarrassment. I think I wanted to have like 50 people show up, and I think maybe 12 showed up. And I was like, ooh, this doesn't feel great.
Okay.
And as a result, I went back to the drawing board, and I said, okay, what did I do wrong? And, you know, what can I do better? And so as a result, I put together a better plan. And so the following event after that, I got double that. Then I got triple that. And then, you know, 4 times that. And so, but I would have never have gone back and continued to refine it if the first time did not work out.
Right.
So I want to encourage kids, you know, sometimes the first time doesn't work. Like, you'll check out my Instagram, and I say, one of the things that I say to kids, to females, to young adults, to entrepreneurs, okay, you failed, now get up and try it again. You failed, now get up and try it again. You failed, now get back up and do it again. And
right.
So you will see that through the course of trying it over and over and over, you become a master at what has been given to you. You can't start out as a master doing what you think you should be doing. Like, you don't start out, you know, making $100,000 with first starting something for the very first time. It has to be refined. You have to hear no. You have to go through the rejection process. But that's where the power of I am comes into play. As soon as you are a kid, and in saying those words over and over and over again, I am built for this. I can get through this. I am an overachiever, and it's great to do that. I am an overachiever, and be proud of that. And you'll hear kids bully other kids because they're trying to do so much more. Oh, you like the class clown. No, I'm not the class clown. I am an overachiever. I want to do better. I want to do more. And so as a result of hearing rejection and hearing the word no, I want you to go back to the drawing board. Say, okay, you know what? It didn't work out. I'm excited that it didn't work out. Be excited that sometimes stuff doesn't work out. I remember the first time, Carla, I used to make A's and B's. I used to make straight A's sometimes.
Okay.
And there was one time I got a D. And I was like, oh, this doesn't feel good. This is not good at all.
Right.
And I said, okay, why didn't this work out? And it didn't work out because I didn't study hard. I realized history wasn't my thing. So, okay, I had to change my study habits. That means I needed to study 2 hours instead of 1 hour. I needed to write down my notes instead of trying to write everything in my head and try to remember everything. That just wasn't my gift. But when I went back and tried to and got back into my test, oh boy, that D, I turned that D back into an A.
Right.
I refused to allow it to defeat me. And,
right.
And life is going to test you on what you really want. Life will test you on what you really want. You've got to be ready to always take the test. So that's what I have for them on that piece.
That is awesome. Young people, I hope you are taking notes. I hope you have Post-its all over your binders in the locker, wherever, that says I am. Let's kill the notion of what you can't do. And like Shelly said, let's just get back up and try it again. That is really, really good. I appreciate that. That even works for me. You know, personally, us adults, we have that same type of battle, unfortunately. But, you know, it is what it is. Kids and young people, period, like to hear from transparent adults. They like to hear that adults make mistakes and that it's okay to get back up and try it again. So that's amazing how a third grade teacher, you know, affected your life like this. This is amazing. Did you ever, like, visualize yourself being here right now where you're sitting, where you're talking, how we're having this awesome interview on iHeartRadio? Like,
I did. I did. Awesome. It was my third grade teacher and my college professor, Dr. Ruth Harris.
Okay.
And she was the most challenging teacher I've ever had in my entire life. And at the time, I did not understand why she was so hard. Like, why is it? I would go into class. And she would call on me first. And by the time, and she would always call me by my last name, and she would say, Shelton, I need you to tell us the answer every single time. Like, it was a class of 50 of us in a class, maybe 75 in a class, and she called me first. And before the class was over, she'd call on me last. Every single day, she'd call on me first, and she'd call on me last. And I say to her every day, I finally got the nerve one day to go up and ask her, Dr. Harris, can you tell me why do you call on me first every day and last every day? And she said, because I see something special in you that you have yet to recognize. And if I don't show you now, you will never get it. I've got to allow you to see it. She said, but when you speak it, you can see it. And I said, ooh, I got it. She said, when you speak it, you bring the vision to fruition. You can see it. And I said, okay. And so, and then it got to the point where I began to ask more and more questions in class. I never was that chick that did that. I never was that student that would do that. But after she told me that, she said, I need for you to begin to say what you want and believe that it will come into existence and then work hard towards it. And I knew at that moment. And she said, I want you to be a speaker. And I said, well, ma'am, I actually was told that when I was 8 years old. I didn't understand what a motivational speaker was, but that's what I want to do. And she said, okay, well, I need for you to begin to speak to every student that you come in contact with. And I was like, okay, what am I speaking to them about? She said, I just want you to share with them that they have promise in their life, that there is a winning attitude that they need to have every single day, and that they have a choice to recognize the world for what it is or to change the world. And I said, wow, okay. And
wow.
And she was the first black CPA ever in the state of Virginia. Like, this lady was amazing. And I'll never forget, every single day she called on me. And every single day at the end of class, she called on me again. And she said, you have promised. I believe in you, and there's more to you than meets the eye, but you've got to make a difference in this world. And so I want to encourage every student that's listening to this, whatever your story is, no matter what you've been through, you can make a difference in this world. Life tests you on what you really want. You've got to be able to take the test. So every day she would test me, and she would test me. But I'm so amazed at how my circumstances did not create who I became.
Right.
I've been through a lot. My circumstance did not create who I became. And so I'm just so in awe of who she is and what she's all about. But I hope and pray that she is proud of the woman that I have become.
Oh, I'm sure she is, without a doubt. I mean, I'm sure people who are listening now are just like, okay, they're taking notes. Like, if it wasn't for hearing from Shelly Shelton, if it wasn't for me logging in, to the podcast this morning or this evening, it's a story. Like you said, our stories are definitely for his glory. Like, we have to, we feel like it's unfortunate that we go through these things at that time, or whatever the obstacle or the challenge is. But at the end of the day, it's like, wow, I went through that, I did that, or I was afraid of that. That feeling is amazing. And when you can pour it in to someone else and be like, look, I struggle, I went through the same thing, I couldn't see the same thing, I had a foggy mindset, but I'm here to tell you, like how you're doing now, and a lot of the things that you're doing now, I'm here to tell you, you can see clear. There is a clear path for you. There's more for you on the other side of that fog. Like you said, you just got to get back up and do it again. Try it again. Ask for help, right?
Absolutely. And I just thought about it. You were talking about Logic and his music earlier.
Yeah.
And I know how kids relate to music and how it helps take them to a particular place. There was, and I didn't realize the importance of this until we're speaking right now, there's a mixtape that I did, and at the beginning of it, it says, get up, today is the day that you start over. And I need for every student that's listening to this, today and listen to, if there's a replay for this, to remember this. Get up. Today is the day that you start over. So even in the midst of being bullied, in the midst of all that's going on in the world, you have an opportunity to start over. Even if someone says no to you, even if rejection tries to defeat you, you have an opportunity every day to start over. And so I want to help transform your mind to allow suicide to not even be an option, because you get an opportunity every day to start over. Yesterday didn't work out, cool, bet. Tomorrow will be better. Didn't work out, tomorrow will be better. Get up. Today is the day that you start over. And so I just want to encourage them to remember you get another opportunity each day. It will get better, and wake up expecting things to go your way. Don't expect for it to be terrible. Get up and expect things to go your way. Right. And I assure you they will.
And regardless of what it looks like, regardless of, what happened or whatever, look at today as a clean slate.
Yes.
Okay. I'm hoping my young people are taking note to that. How can someone keep in contact with you? Like, you're traveling, I'm sure. You have events all over the place. Like, how can we keep in contact with you and have more of I Am Shelly Shelton?
Yeah. So I'm on social media. They can take a look at my YouTube, which is Shelly Shelton. My Instagram, I think a lot of the kids are on Instagram. I'm not on Snapchat. I just realized I'm not on Snapchat, but I'm on Instagram. I_am_Shelly_Shelton. I'm on Facebook. I am Shelly Shelton LLC on Facebook, and I'm on Twitter. And so I want to give them an opportunity. And you can always go to my website. That's the easiest. I just thought about that. The easiest way is go to my website, shellyshelton.com, and check things out. There's a page that says Contact Me. So click on that. Contact me if you have any questions. If you want me to come and speak to your school, anything, I'll travel. But I just want students to realize you have an opportunity every single day to get up. Today is the day that you start over. So don't allow anyone to make your circumstances your future.
Right. That's right. You also have inspirational gear on your website that can keep that inspiration going. So a lot of our kids like to wear school shirts with words of influence and things of that nature, and you offer that as well on your website, right?
Absolutely. Yes. And it's the power of I am. I am winning. I am more than a conqueror. I am a gold digger. And that's shellyshelton.com/gear. So yes, absolutely. I would love for them to be inspired and wear gear that emphasize the messages that need to come out of their mouths. Absolutely.
That's awesome. Well, Shelly Shelton, we want to thank you so much for taking out the time to talk with us, discuss, to share. Oh, my goodness. I think I'm going to hit replay for myself on this one. This is really, really good. And we want to definitely have you back. I think you have some books coming up, or you have a book that you've already written. What's going on in your writing?
Yeah, so I have a book that will be coming out over the next couple of months that I think kids will definitely be able to relate to, and so it's a book about a young boy named Chandler that goes on different adventures, and he teaches kids how to become kid entrepreneurs, and he's just a phenomenal young man, and he narrates the story, and he'll continue to go on adventure and adventure. And I want kids to just follow along with what he says and what he's all about. He's a very, very positive young man that sees his future, and he speaks what will happen to his life. So absolutely.
Okay, awesome. I would love to have you back on the show for that. As you know, our show is geared towards, our young people, our youth, and I like to keep their mindset clear and not to get subjected to what the world say about them, but the I am perspective is what they need to learn from. So thank you again for being on the show. We're going to go ahead. Yes, you're welcome. We're going to go ahead and sign out.
If you are listening in, I will have Miss Shelly Shelton tagged information to reach her on all social media handles, on her website, and you can visit her website for upcoming events, all of that great stuff. If you have any questions that you would like for me to get to Shelly Shelton for you on your behalf as well, or you want to reply anonymously, send me an email. You know what you can do, and I will make sure she gets those answered for you, and we'll have her back on the show to talk about them. All right, Shelly, thank you again for being on, and we look forward to having you again.
Thank you so much. Enjoy your day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.